So, first of all, good evening, everyone. We're starting officially with the event. So, how did we end up here on a Saturday evening when we're supposed to be relaxing on the weekend? But somehow we are here for an event of some club. So, let's get started. First of all, welcome to Hello World, the very first event of TLE MEC. This is the top, which hand is this? The top right is our mascot, and the rest of it is his extended family. I totally didn't take the same image and change the color left and right. So let's keep going. So who am I? This is not an existential crisis question. I'm introducing myself. I am Sharat Jacob. Both Jacobs are there. Don't ask why. So my role in this meeting is to hype it up. Yes, you can mark me as the cringe senior now itself. So as we go, what I'm actually here for is to, at the beginning of the event, I want to tell you what TLE MEC is, what they do, what they focus on, and to give you a hearty welcome to the very first event of TLE MEC, Hello World. So we'll officially get started. So can someone quickly tell me what is the most crucial aspect in the chat in the next 5 minutes? Can someone tell me what's the most crucial aspect of any club? Is it the tagline? Is it the theme? Is it the logo? Can someone quickly tell me? I'm watching the Google Meet chat. Anyone who quickly tells me? People. Aditya Anil Kumar says the people. Interesting. Do we only have one people? Do we have the participants? Okay, cool. Yeah, keep going. Let's get 3 more answers at least. The activity. Very well. That sounds interesting. The chair. Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. So we'll have very meaningful answers. So you're going to slaughter me when I reveal the next slide. Exactly. Those are great answers. What I'm going to reveal is that the mascot of the club, which is Cubo. Cubo is our mascot of the club, and he's a philosopher and coder extraordinaire. So Cubo will be with you for upcoming events. You'll see him on our social media pages. Cubo will be our guide and the mascot of TLE MEC, and we will cover what coding is and what TLE MEC is going to focus on. So moving on to the club logo. This is the club logo. This makes no sense to me, personally. So let's look at it in dark mode. It's still pretty much the same. Let's go back to light mode. Yeah. So what does any of this mean? Can someone tell me, like, decipher what the TLE logo is? Quickly. We've had people talk in the chat. We need more people, quickly. 10 people and we move on. Yeah. Can someone, what do you think the TLE? Any wrong answer is permitted. The right answers are not. Tax inside a stopwatch. Interesting. Time, very well. Yes, pretty good. Time. Again, Achit Mohan, time, as in filters come pretty close. Keep going. Say something. If you say it's cupcakes or muffins, I will still accept it. Keep going. We have 3 people, 3 brave people. Go ahead. I will not remember your names after this event. So whoever it is, keep shooting. Cupcakes, yay. Stacks under time, steps. Oh yeah, steps. That makes a lot of sense. TLE chair, please note, we do have steps and they do look like steps, and I agree with Jason Dennis. Do we have other stacks under time? Interesting, once again. Do we have anyone else? What is the logo? What does the logo intend? What did the design team think of when they were going through all of this? One more person, just one more person, any one more person, say anything. Steps to save time, very well. Oh, that's smart, okay. You didn't have that in mind, but I know that's smart. Okay. Hey, we have someone, okay, yeah. Stopwatch. So what does any of this mean? Is that a clock? So what it is can someone quickly tell me what do you think TLE means? What does TLE stand for? Because I don't remember we've exactly put it anywhere. So what is, if we have some first years in the chat, please go ahead and tell me, what do you think TLE means? Quickly, any first year. Keep going. Time limit exceeded. Interesting. That's an interesting answer. Is it close? Who knows? We'll open up questions for second and third years as well. What do you think TLE means? Because I honestly have no idea. And they've asked me to do the introduction for this event. Truffles. There we go. More acceptable answers coming in. What? Don't worry that you're going to put an answer. Oh, okay, yes. Tired little engineers. That is one of my favorite interpretations of this. It is the cutest so far. Put 3 unrelated words. I'll still find it cute. Keep going. Give me answers in the chat. Don't worry that you're going to put an answer and everyone's going to see it, because everyone's going to see it. So it's fine. There is no judgment here. It's a safe space. Keep going. Tired little engineers. Time will live. Exceeded truffles. I love truffles. I've never eaten one, but I love them already because of how they sound. So I'm going to move on. So what TLE does mean is time limit exceeded. So you can yell at TLE at people when you want them to shut up, and people will think you're supporting our club, so go for it. Moving on. So what TLE MEC actually is, we are the Competitive Programming and DSA Club of MEC. Just like you, when I heard this, I was like, I do not understand any of these words. Please interpret them to me. So the rest of the slide is going to be covering half of this. Nikita Menon and me, Sharat Jacob, are the ones covering this. We are the content team. We are the ones doing the intro. So she'll be covering competitive programming, and I'll be covering what DSA is. So we'll get right to it. What is DSA? Okay, I'm not going to ask you directly. This is, yeah. So DSA, the DS stands for data structures, right? So data structures are stuff like queues, we have classes, we have stacks. It's all right if you have no idea of like what these words are. You will soon learn them. They're all beginner coders. It's all right. So we have stacks, we have queue. Yeah, there you go. Data structures and algorithms. Someone's already been active in the chat. I'm so happy. If more people are active in the chat, it's greater. It makes our session much more livelier. So stacks, arrays, queues, lists, classes, structures, so and so and so. We keep going. These are all efficient ways to go about organizing data within a computer than how you might naturally go about it. And what does the A stand for? We have algorithms. Any process, this is for anyone who may not be familiar with CS. I know CS students already might know this. Any process within a program, when you say if the input is 1, enter 2, or if the input is 2, enter 3, any process like that is an algorithm in its simplest form. So there are specific algorithms that allow you to go about fine-tuning the process. Suppose you have an entire bookshelf and you have books arrayed, not arrayed, it's got to be a better word for that. Displayed, yeah, displayed is better. Displayed in a row, and you want to arrange them by author, by alphabetical order, by genre, by interest, by which all you've read and which all you haven't read. There is a specific process that you follow. You put books left, right, center. There's a human process, and breaking down that human process and going down about it, we'd have our sorting algorithms in computer science. Now, this is my favorite part. I'll give you exactly 1 minute. Okay, not the third years who I know here, who are present here, not the third years. Maybe not the second year. Okay, first years and second years. Can you tell me what I'm going to give you exactly 10 to 20 seconds. What is the quickest sorting algorithm? If you can put that in the chat right now very quickly within 10, 20 seconds, I will buy you a chocolate when you meet you offline. 1, 2, 3, keep going. 4, this is nice if someone puts the same answer. 5, 6, 7, 8. Search is actually a search algorithm, right? You are searching for a specific thing. Keep going, but it's fine. It's not a dumb answer. I would pretty much put the same thing. Don't worry. But yeah, keep going. Bubble sort. We've got a bubble sort here. Very well. We'll reveal the answer later. Okay. Yeah, we've countdown. 6, 7, 8. We've got quick sort in the chat. 9, 10. Even if you spam quick sort, I will still buy you chocolate. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Am I counting too fast? 20. That's it. Stop. Okay. Someone in TLE who's in the extra team. No. Okay. Nana, no. Nana is on our core team. She cannot. But others. Okay. Tom. We have others. Meet me when you meet me offline, and I will buy you a chocolate. Definitely. Okay. So the answer to that I'll reveal later. I actually forgot, but I know one that is the correct answer. I'm pretty sure it's quick solve. Okay. So the question is, why is DSA relevant? I've said all this about what DSA is. Why is it relevant? So you take any company with a digital presence in the world. For example, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. All of that is still Facebook, surprisingly. We are in a very different data privacy. Okay, that's a whole different session and talk. But any company with a digital presence in this world, you know, if I told you right now to go to Instagram and open your Explore page, you know you're probably going to be stuck there for half an hour sitting in. And if you take any random name, let's take Sharat Jacob. What does Sharat Jacob like? Sharat Jacob likes, what do I like? I like Harry Potter, I like cats. So we'll be like, let's show him memes of Harry Potter and cats, or we'll show him posts or reels, whatever. That is a very simplified process of what goes on in the background of the Instagram app, what is happening behind all of this, right? So there are sophisticated algorithms that work over time. There are specific data structures that help to group this data and make it easier for the algorithms to go through them. So all of that at its core is DSA. Right now, Google Meet is doing all of this, and there are a lot of algorithms working overtime behind this to go for it. So I've told you what TLE is. I've told you what DSA is, right? So naturally, the next question that follows is, I should have practiced. The next question that follows is, what is the connection, right? How does TLE factor into this? So in terms of DSA, Nikita will tell you what's in terms of CP. In terms of DSA, like right now, after this session, we will have George Sabu and Tom Vempala. Or is it Tom Sabu and George Vempala? I'm not sure. Those two, they both will come up here and they will solve a problem. They will break down maybe some essential concepts and give you an idea of problem solving. And we will have further educational sessions in the months to come. TLE MEC will keep holding sessions. So join those sessions and we'll solve them live and in detail. We have our social media handles such as Instagram. We'll have LinkedIn. Is LinkedIn social media? I don't think so, but I'm pretty confused about it, so it's fine. But in Instagram, we right now have 2 posts. One breaks down what complexity is. We have other things that are broken down in detail. Now we have TLE MEC, which is apparently has its own Google account, which I do not know about. They've put their Instagram profile in the chat, so you can check that out right now. You can see both the complexity posts broken down. So check it out. We have Cubo there explaining things. Follow it right now. I'll give 10 seconds. And if you followed it right now, put a yes in the chat. Quickly go ahead and follow. 10, 9. We get no money. Yay, we got a yes over here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm counting slower so that you guys can say yes. Guys and girls, and those who identify as otherwise. Yay, George Sabu has followed TLE MEC. Yes, we got I'm the Sri Lakshmi Paradi. Okay, and so if you're already following TLE, I'm really happy about it. Okay, great. Oh, this is brilliant. I am so happy right now. So follow, more posts will come. And with that, we end at my intro. I'm leaving. If you're sad about this, please text me that you're sad about this. Okay, find me personally and tell me. Oh my God, Nana, blocking Nana for now. Okay. Right. So it's over. Go. I mean, don't go. But we have literally the rest of the session left. So we'll have Nikita follow about what the rest of the event is. Go ahead. And with that, I'm going to stop. So thank you. We're passing it on to Nikita. Nikita, are we ready?
Yes, we're ready. Let me just try and share my screen.
Yes, very good.
Can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Give it a minute. There we go. We have leaves, we have greenery, and I'm going to mute myself and get off here.
Okay. So yeah, I am Nikita, and I'm from TLE MEC, obviously. So before I start, can I just know how many people from, like, what your branch is? First years and second years, which branch you're from? EEE, EC, whichever. Just drop it in the chat just so I know. Quickly. All right, we have one CS. EC. Nice, CS and EC. There's only CS and EC. All right, that's good enough. I'll come back to the chats in a while. So meanwhile, I will begin. Okay, so I apologize in advance that this presentation is not going to be very relevant to what I'm going to be speaking about. So yeah, feel free to ignore that it's there. I just needed something to present. Okay, so about competitive programming, that's what I'm going to be talking about, as Sharat said. So for those who don't know, the basic definition of competitive programming is basically that it is a sport wherein you can practice and test your coding skills while also competing with other people to contest for better solutions while making use of the minimum possible resources. Now, if none of that makes sense to you, then just think of it as a way to challenge yourself by cracking problems using data structures and algorithms and everything that Sharat just talked to you about. Okay. So yeah, has anyone tried competitive programming before yet? Anyone from first or second year? Just put them in the chats if you have tried. No one yet. In lead code, damn, all right. Okay, so we have one lead code. Yes, I'm first year at heart. All right, what have you tried, Sharat? Lead code and HackerRank. This is so lovely to hear. Like I hadn't even heard of these names when I was in first year, etc. Nice, HackerRank. All right, that's a good number. I mean, that's really nice. Yeah. For introduction to CP, I suppose you guys already know what CP is. So yeah. All right. Now, regardless of which branch or stream you're from, you probably associate competitive programming with something that just computer science students would do, right? Because it has the word programming or coding in it. But that is actually really far from the truth. Yes, computer science students kind of have to learn programming because that's more or less the whole point of pursuing their degree. But the advantages that one would have by practicing DSA, even if they're not from a CS background, is kind of what I want to focus on. So yeah. Okay, so so let's just go over the obvious things, obvious perks that one would have if they were really good at competitive programming. So the first thing obviously is that it puts you in a very advantageous position to bag a job in the technological domain, because generally speaking, pretty much all of the tech companies have coding interviews, which they use as screening rounds, and some just directly approach people who are, who just top in major CP competitions, CP as in competitive programming. And also you can add to your resume. It makes it easier to get referrals for jobs because people end up trusting in your skills more, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, if you're a CS student, then these are things you're going to be hearing a million times over in the next 4 years or so. Like do this or you'll end up unemployed, do that or don't do that, or like, you'll have to leech off your parents for the rest of your life or something. Like, that's probably not going to happen even if you choose to entirely skip doing CP. You'll still have a decent chance at the same opportunities by doing, projects and software or hardware development and things like that. But the thing is that looking at competitive programming as just a, means to an end, like just to bag a job or whatever, is probably going to kill the fun problem solving spirit that it's supposed to have. So yeah, problem solving, that's the keyword. It brings me to the main point of this whole discussion. Why bother with competitive programming if, say, you're not majoring in computer science, or you don't want a job in the tech field, or maybe you are a computer science student, but you just don't get the point of putting in all that time and effort in something like this. And the reason is pretty simple. Solving problems with DSA teaches you how to think. That's basically just it. Like, consider this. We're all here to be engineers, right? If you're not here to be an engineer and you're still, pursuing the degree, then that would be an entirely different conversation. But I'm assuming that you want to be engineers and that's why you're here. So yes, in different domains, but we're all, aiming to be engineers. And what are engineers supposed to be anyway? They are simply supposed to be problem solvers, right? So at some point, if it hasn't happened already, you'll probably come across a problem wherein you'll start wondering, where do I start, where do I end, and what the hell am I supposed to do in between? Like problems like, fixing the education system. Okay, maybe not fixing the education system. If you ever have the chance to try and fix the education system, I wish you good luck. But anyway, problems of similar complexity, let's say. And you wouldn't be alone, because it's only natural for people to have no idea how to go about these things when they're just starting off, right? And the only way to get good at solving problems is to practice easier and simpler problems and, work your way into the more difficult things. So that's not rocket science. You learned nothing new. It's just common sense. And competitive programming is just one of the ways, a really good way actually, to kind of improve the way you approach problems and to develop the kind of mindset you need to navigate through these problems. It teaches you how to break problems into solvable chunks. And we're not talking about problems like the ones that we had in 8th grade math, right? We're talking about problems that people in the real world face in their day-to-day lives, problems that products in the market try to solve, improving the way you think about arriving at situations. Wait, did I just resize the? Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So if we were to think about problems like this, then we would not know where to start from initially, but we would have to practice. And that being said, we have a lot of ways to practice this, like the ones that's already been mentioned in the chat. There's LeetCode, there's HackerRank and whatnot, which you just saw a glimpse of that slide, a list of competitive programming platforms. And it doesn't have to be boring, right? It can be competitive. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be fun, and it can be fun if you don't think of it as something that's just something you have to do to, get to a job or get to a place. The, process can be fun as well. So yeah, having said that, there are team events, some of them even TLE would be holding on their own. So yeah, that's there. And these are some of the platforms that you might want to check out just in case you want to try out competitive programming. And yeah, also that's kind of all I had to say about this. And Merry Christmas half a month in advance. So yes, right after this, Tom and George will kind of be putting a face to the story or whatever by navigating through a couple basic problems if you've never done that before. So that's what's going to happen now. So over to you guys. Are we ready, Tom and George?
Yeah, thank you, Nikita. I'll take it from here.
Right, signing off.
Yeah, can you guys see the screen?
Yes,
Yep.
we can see it.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you for the wonderful introduction, Nikita and Sharat. And as I promised, competitive programming is also going to be fun. But let me tell you, I am pretty sure most of you are here with good ranks in KEEM and you're at Modern Tech College because you value placement. And I can guarantee for placements, competitive programming is very much important. So I'm aware many of you are already practice competitive programming. So today, since there are also beginners here, we'll be checking some easy questions on HackerRank. I will share the link to the contest in the chat, or George will share them. What can you do? Yeah, so the first problem is staircase problem. I'll show it on the HackerRank website. So basically, they will as Nikita said, competitive programming is just they will give you a problem and you have to solve it. So you will have to write a code for it. So this is a basic structure of a competitive programming question. So this part we can call it like the question description. Here they said given an integer n, print a staircase of size n. If n equal to 4, the staircase will be like this. See, it's just a staircase full of hashes. So this means input format. So basically, it is what they will give as the input. In this case, n is 4. That 4 is the input. And what constraints means is the limit up to which the n's value can vary. Like for this question, the value of n may be between 0 and 100. So constraints become important when you use the appropriate variables and stuff for the question. Like integer can hold up to 32,000. So if the constraint is greater than 32,000, you will have to use some other larger data types like long int and all. So don't worry about the programming stuff. We will teach you it in time. And the output format is what the answer should look like. So print a staircase of size n using hash symbols and spaces. See? So this is a sample. The sample input is 3 and this is the sample output. Just a simple stair with size 3. And if the sample input is 6, this is what the staircase looks like. So does any of you have any idea how to approach this problem? You can leave it in the chat or you can open your mic and tell me. Okay. Since there's no one, I think George can
No one.
explain.
Like, does anyone have any idea to like how would you approach this question? Like, just think about it and try. Just give any answer what comes to your mind. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Just try to solve it yourself first. Yes, Jason Dennis. It's the correct approach. Anyone else? Yes, you use for loop 2 times. For printing spaces, I don't think we are printing spaces here, but yeah, the hash thing used to for loops. Input and then create outer and inner loop using for. Yeah. So everyone already has an idea to solve this, so that's pretty good. Does everyone have an account in HackerRank? If you have a account, you can actually solve the problems with us.
Yeah, you can click the link and it will go to this contest.
Yeah, you can solve the question with us, and there's another problem with a slightly harder pattern which you can solve after solving this.
But for now, I think we can explain this program for the beginners.
Yeah.
So not familiar with it.
So those who don't know how to approach this problem, we'll be showing you how to solve this in a moment. Yeah, so those who have put the answers are right. Anyone else? If there isn't anyone, we could start with the answer.
I guess we can start explaining the algorithm.
We have someone in the chat who just put something.
Wow.
Okay, I can't see the chat, sorry.
Nice. Karthik G. Kumar. Yeah, Karthik G. Kumar has come up with the answer in the chat. That's nice. It's actually really wonderful that you guys know this much in first year or second year. Like we didn't know anything when we came to college, and we started to learn about competitive programming after the seniors told us it's important and how to get on with it. You guys already know and are already in all these coding websites. That's actually really nice. You guys are one step ahead already. So we'll be solving this question for those who don't know even to even don't know how to approach this question in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the algorithm to solve this staircase problem. Algorithm is basically the step-by-step approach to which we solve a problem. It doesn't have any syntax or anything. It's language independent. We just use it to understand how to solve the problem, and like anyone should be able to read and understand how to solve the problem by just reading the algorithm. So for this question, initially we take the input as n, which is the number of rows which we want to print, number of rows of hash which we want to print, and then we'll use a for loop to loop the number of rows. So from 1 to n, if there are input was 4, the first for loop will give us the number of rows, and we use another for loop which will print the number of hashes in the given row. So for the first, Tom, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah. For
So,
given case.
taking an example as n equal to 4, we need 4 rows. So like the first row needs only one hash. So the inner loop will go from 1 to I, and the value of I in the outer loop will go from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So during the first iteration, the value of I will be 1, and the inner loop will loop only once from 1 to I, which is 1. So it will print the first hash. Now the for loop will go to the next value, which is 2, and then the inner loop will loop from 1 to I, which is 2. So it will print the hash 2 times. So that's the algorithm to solve this problem. And till n, when we reach n, we'll get the given pattern for this problem. So now Tom will code the answer in HackerRank and show you how to solve the problem.
So can you guys tell me, you are more familiar with Python or C++? Just drop it in the chat. Python. Okay. So generally we use C++ for competitive programming, but since you guys are familiar with Python, I think I will show it in Python first. And don't worry, I will show it in C++ too. So this is our question. So if you scroll down, you can see a part for coding. This part is where you type your answer. So you can choose the language from this drop down menu. So I am choosing Python already. And this varies from site to site, but in sites like CodeChef and all, you will have to write the entire program from the beginning. Whereas in sites like HackerRank, LeetCode, etc., you only need to write a specific function or a method for which returns the answer. Like for our case, we only need to write a function which takes n, that is the number of lines or size of the staircase as an input, and we need to print the answer. So what we need is 2 for loops, right? So initially for I in range 1 to n plus 1. So basically by this line what happens is we vary the value of I from 1 to n. So if we want to vary it from 1 to n, we will use 1 to n plus 1. So when it becomes n plus 1, the loop will be exited. That's the first loop that we saw in the algorithm. And the second part is for j in range 1 to I plus 1. That means the first time we need to go from 1 to 1, then we need to go from 1 to 2, like that. So when it becomes 2, we need to exit. That's why we give 1 plus I plus 1. So inside that loop, sorry, let me give a space here. Yeah. So inside that loop, we will be simply giving print hash. But the problem of print hash is that in Python, the print statement also ends the line with a new line. So to avoid that, we will give end equal to simply an empty string. So what now happens is it will simply print the hash and it won't go to the next line. So after printing one entire line, we need to go to the next line, because see, after printing one hash, we will go to the next line, and then after printing 2 hash, we will go to the next line. That's why we simply give a print statement here. So since this is a void function, that is, there is no return time, we just need to print the answer. So we can run this code. See, this is sample input they gave. They gave input 3, and our code printed this, and the expected answer was also the same. So that's how we know it's correct. And this is 6. When they gave 6, our output was the correct one. See, it is equal to the expected output. So this is how you can check the program while executing if it is working correctly. And once you think you have the right code, you can simply submit it. And when you submit, they will be having a lot more test cases, which will be having higher numbers of fancy. So our test case passed for all the tests. Our code passed for all the test cases. So here the value of n might be any value between the given constraints. So in our question, the constraint was between 0 and 100. Sometimes the constraints can go up to 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to 5, etc. So I think I will be writing the same thing in C++ also. The thing about C++ is that C++ is so much faster than Python, even though there's a little more part you need to code. You can easily, and the execution speed of C++ will be much faster. So in C++, it is also simple. For int I equal to 1, I less than n, I mean to increment I. Inside we need the second loop for int j equal to 1. Sorry, we need to give I less than or equal to n, because it is simply very much like counting. Like if we need to go 5 times, we will count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when it is 6, we will exit the loop, right? That's why we give I less than or equal to n. That means when it becomes 7, the loop will be exited. Similarly, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus. And here we simply give cout means it's a printing statement in C++. Cout hash, and after every line we will be going to the next line, and that is why we give cout ended. It will open a new line. So we don't, it's a void function, there is no return type, so we simply print the answer and we run the code. I'm so sorry. My bad, I gave L instead of J. See, that's the right answer. And we can do the same. See this, so this was a very easy question. The constraints was very much low, like 100. So there won't be any problem for time limit exceeded. Like if the value of n is very high, and if we don't use a very efficient program, like we simply use unwanted loops and all, then our program could exceed the time limit. For this question, I don't think there was a time limit. And when you use an inefficient program with a question with a time limit, then that's when we get the error time limit exceeded, and that's how our club got the name. So if you guys want to try this out, you can try this from the link given. And there is also a harder version of this question. See, for given n equal to 4, in the previous question, the staircase was inclined towards the left side, see, whereas for this question, it's inclined towards the right side. So you guys need to think a little bit more, because you need to add extra white spaces and stuff. So I'm not going to explain this answer, but you guys can try. This contest will be open for 2 days. and you guys can try this question. The beginners, obviously, it will be easy for the one who already tried competitive programming. But now we will be going to a different question. Birthday cake candles. So is everyone okay with the first explanation of the first answer? If anyone has doubt, please drop it in the comments. Hello. Okay, that's good. So I guess we can try the next question. So the next question is birthday cake candles. So this is also a pretty much easy question. It's almost direct. So you are in charge of a cake for a child's birthday. You have decided the cake will have one candle for each year of the total age. There will be only one. There will be only be able to blow out the candles, the tallest of the candles. Count how many candles are tallest. Example. So basically, they will be giving an array which will denote the size or the height of each of the candles. So in the example question, the height of the candles are 4 unit, 4 unit, 1 unit, and 3 units. So according to the question, they will be able to blow out the tallest of the candles. So in these, the tallest candles are 4, 4, and the second 4. So the child will be able to blow only 2 of them, right? So the answer is 2. That's how this question works. So they will be giving the sizes of the candles, and we will need to return them with the answer. How many candles will be blown? That's easy. So like I told you, will be needing to complete only one function here. The function description is complete the function birthday cake candles in the editor below. The birthday cake candles has the following parameters: int candles of size n, and it returns the number of candles that are the tallest. And the input format is first a single line, single integer n, which is the size of the candles, and the second line contains n safe space separator integers, where each integer describes the height of the candle of 5. See, in the sample test case, first they gave 4. That means there are four candles, and in the next line they gave the height of each candle. So our answer would be, first we need to find the tallest candle, and then we need to return how many of them are there. So here it is 3, and there are 2 of them. So the answer is 2. That's easy. So our job is to write a code which solves this for any given value of n and candles height. So can anyone give your approach or idea to how to answer this question in the chat? George, can you see it? I can't read the chat.
Yeah, Karthik G. Kumar has sent an answer.
Nice. Anyone else? I see. Everyone loves Python. Karthik, do you want to explain it in mic? Yeah, Jason Dennis, that's also a different approach. It's nice.
Yeah, there are multiple ways to solve a problem. And in the end, we choose the most efficient way to solve the problem. Right now, we are just giving the basic and direct approach to solve the problem for beginners. You could try in any way you want.
Yeah, it need not be the most efficient one you can try. And you need not write the code either. You can simply tell the steps like an algorithm, like a recipe or something. You need to take this number, you need to take that number, you need to compare. You can tell us like that also.
Okay, anyone else got an answer?
And I think we can explain the algorithm.
Yeah, we could explain it.
Okay, next point.
Okay, Aldrin has come up with an answer.
Aldrin from third year.
Yes, Aldrin from third year has come up with an answer.
So I think basically the answer is in the screen itself. But can you explain? Can you explain a way for finding the tallest candle, counting how many candles are tallest?
Karthik G. Kumar has come up with an unique solution, but I still don't understand it. Could you explain more about it? Sort the array and find mid. So the middle element would be like the average of the heights, right? What would you compare it with? Like when you sort it, the tallest candle will be at the end, right? Why are you taking the middle element? Is there any reason?
And did everyone understand the question actually? I think some of you might be confused. Actually, I think I made a drawing here. Actually, see, this is the candles. I was thinking. I thought I can explain it with them. These are the heights: 4 unit, 4 unit, 1 unit, and 3 unit. And when the child blows, only these two blows away. The tallest two. These two candles will be blown off because that's what the question says. Only the tallest of the two candles will be blown off. So the answer is 2 because 2 of them are blown off. That's the answer.
Nice, nice illustration.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think we could solve the problem now.
I think we understood.
So this is a simple and direct approach to solve the problem. So first, it's done in two steps here. In the first step, we'll find the tallest candle in the given array, and in the next step, we'll count the number of candles which have that given tallest height. So it's really easy to code, and I think you could understand it easily when you see the algorithm. Okay, so this is the algorithm to find the tallest candle. Okay, so initially we take the size of candles in n, and we'll take the tallest candle as size zero because there won't be any candle with lesser height than zero. So we'll take a variable tallest as zero. We'll use this tallest variable to find the tallest candle. We'll see in the coming next steps. So we'll loop through the entire array of candles. That's the for I from 1 to n. We'll be looping through the entire array, and we'll take each element and compare it with the variable tallest, and we'll see if the given element is greater than tallest. If the given element is greater than tallest, we'll be storing that value into the tallest. and then we'll be checking it with the other. We'll be checking it with the other elements. So after it, in the first iteration, we'll check whether 1 is greater than 0, which is true. So we'll be storing 1 into the tallest variable. So we'll go to the next element in the array, 6 greater than 1, which is true. So we'll be storing 6 into the tallest variable. Next, in the next iteration, we'll have 2, which is not greater than 6. So we'll not be storing it in tallest variable. Next iteration, we have 8, which is greater than 6. So we'll be storing it the tallest variable. And in the last iteration, we have 5, which is not greater than tallest. So in the after the loop ends, we'll have the tallest variable with the value 8. So we got the tallest value for the tallest variable. Now, in the next step, we will have to find how many candles with height 8 is there in the given array. So to count that, we have a variable called count to store the number of candles with the value 8. And in the next step, we'll be just looping through the entire array and just check. We have the if condition to check whether the tallest with the check whether the current element is equal to the value of the tallest element. So if it's true, we'll increment the value of count by 1. So in the end, we'll have the number of candles with the value 8, which is the tallest candle in the set array. So, okay, we'll check when we loop through this, we'll initially check whether 1 is equal to 8, which is not true, so false. 6 not equal to 8, false. 2 not equal to 8. And 8 equal to 8, which is true, so we'll be incrementing the value of count by 1. Initially, the value of count will be 0, and we'll be incrementing it as we find the number of candles which have the height of 8. So after the entire loop is over, we'll have the number of candles with the height 8, and we'll get the count, which is the required answer for this problem.
So if there were two 8s, we will be actually getting value 2 in the count variable. Or 3, depending on the number of 8s. It was a bad example, that's my bad.
O of n, O of n is actually good. Like, it's not really bad. Like the solution you gave for the problem, you use sort for it, which will give, you told it's log n, but it will actually give n log n time complexity, which is greater than log O of n.
Others, don't worry, we will be teaching you what is ON and
Yeah.
loading. Don't worry.
Karthik
That's
Jikuma.
that is used to determine how efficient your code is.
Yeah. For the given problem, we won't be having bigger values than 10 raised to 6. So a computer can solve the problem in 1 second. So it's okay for this given problem. The solution we'll provide will be according to the constraints. So for this problem, OFN is actually okay. If you have a, yeah, I will solve the question shortly. Okay, let me share the screen. So everyone here told me they are comfortable with Python. So I'll be showing the answer in Python first. So yeah, we'll just need to solve the function in HackerRank. So it's much more simpler. We'll just need to think about the function. They'll already give the input as a list in this function. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, Karthik ji, learn from YouTube videos. That's actually nice that you are spending time to learn CP even during this hectic BTech syllabus.
Don't worry, man.
I hope yeah.
TL is there for you.
Yeah, TL is there. We'll be conducting contests and we can practice together. Okay, so let's solve the problem. Okay, first we'll have a tallest variable with 0 and count 0. So this part will loop through the candles, and I will contain the value of each element in candles, and will loop through the entire candle list. We'll have to check whether each value of I is greater than tallest, and if it is
Just like
greater
we
than
saw in
tallest,
the algorithm.
yeah, just like we saw in the algorithm, if the given element is greater than tallest, we'll store it into the tallest variable. So yeah, we got the value of the tallest candle from this 3 lines of code. Now next we'll be counting the number of the number of candles with that given height of tallest. So we'll again loop through the candles list, and we'll check whether the value of the current element is equal to tallest, and increment the value of count by 1 each time. We'll find a equivalent match, and then we'll return the value of count in this function. So yeah, it's a small code. It's a simple question, and with a simple answer. I hope everyone understood the code. Yeah, so we passed the test case, which is the first step. Now the next step is submitting, and there are tons of test cases for this. You have to pass every test case to get the answer fully correct. Yeah, so we passed all the test cases.
The constraint of this question was n's value will be between 1 and 10 raised to 5. So this test case may contain any value between that, like 10,000.
Yeah, 10 raised to 5. For time complexity and all, we will be taking sessions on that shortly. We could teach you about that soon. Right now, we are just teaching you how to use the interface of HackerRank and how to solve this problem. I hope you understood
Yeah, you can.
on the basics of HackerRank.
Yeah, you can practice in all the sites like LeetCode, CodeChef, HackerEarth.
Yeah, we are just
LeetCode and CodeChef has many interesting questions. This is how just you approach a question. Like you see the problem, you think about an answer, you break it into parts like we did for the second question, and then you convert it into code. So the coding part is actually the last part. What skill you actually need is the ability to think critical and creative thinking as well. You need to come up with different types of solutions and all to find the efficient one. So that's basically about competitive programming.
yeah.
So
Then I'll quickly solve the question in C++ also. So those who like C++ can also understand the solution. So here I'm looping through the array candles, and we are checking whether each element is greater than the tallest variable and storing if it's greater than the tallest variable. And we need one more loop to count the number of values with the tallest. Okay, so the function here has an int return type. So in the end, we'll return the count variable. Yeah, so we passed the test. You could also give custom input and test for the answers if you want. I'll just check. 3, 1, 2, 2. So for this sample test case, it should return 2 as an answer because we have two twos, which is the tallest values in. Yeah, so output 2. Everything's running, looking fine. Let's submit it in C++ also. Yeah, so we passed all the test cases. So they have solved the question in C++ also. So if you have any doubt about this problem, please put in the chat.
I think everyone's clear.
Yeah. Also, we'll be conducting a contest soon. I hope you all will be participating in it. TLE,
Yeah, TLE in
yeah,
collaboration with MSCS is conducting a coding contest called Code Sprint. Its prelims will be on 13th. You can attempt it anytime between 13th and 15th of this month. And based on that, we'll be shortlisting people into the finals, which will be on 18th. And there will be cash prizes and also to
yeah,
participate.
there will be cash prizes.
Even if you're a beginner, don't worry. We will have two levels of there will be two tracks, one for beginners and one for intermediate people who are a little more experienced. So don't be afraid to give it a shot. You can maybe win. So
Some
we'll be
cash.
giving the links for registering it soon. Just follow us on Instagram,
Stay
LinkedIn,
tuned
everywhere.
and follow us everywhere.
So Sharat,
There
do you
will
want to
also
wind
be participation certificates to the event, so you could just participate and get certificates free.
Yeah, it's
Maybe you
very
will
good
get the
for
cash prize also. Yeah,
activity
it's
points.
beginner friendly. Yeah, so Sharat, anything else?
Sharat Jacob.
Hi there. So we've
WhatsApp
successfully,
group for discussion. Rahul
yeah,
has asked the question.
Yeah,
we
I think
have,
we have a Discord group actually. Yeah.
We'll be sharing the link soon
Let me,
before the contest
yeah,
starts.
yeah. No, we will try to share it in the Google Meet itself.
yeah, provide, wait for the evening, check your phones. I mean, don't check your phones from your parents consistently, but keep track on your phones. We will provide details regarding the contest. So do check it out. It's with Max. They just given you all the details. And provide a thank you to Tom Vempala and George Sabu for spending an hour sitting and detailing two different problems and breaking down some crucial concepts. And now I can finally do exactly 10 seconds. Before that, people will leave. I know, but still, this is taking forever to load.
We are waiting, man.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I hope you've had a great session. Yeah. Thank you for your thanks, Rahul and Varma. If you want to thank Tom and George right now, go ahead for it because you'll probably never see them again.
Why?
We'll be there in the college.
Yeah, we will be there in the college.
You'll never see them again. And that.
Thank you for your active participation, Karthik.
Yeah.
Yes. Karthik, I see.
Rahul,
Especially
Alaka,
Karthik
everyone.
provided solutions and stuff. No, pretty cool. Yeah. And
We'll be seeing you soon in the leaderboards.
yes, definitely.
Okay.
Karthik will be hopefully maybe next year. Karthik might be here sitting and explaining concepts to the of TLE. So finally, my slides here. It's over. You can go now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you everyone for being so patient and attending.
Yes.
Check
Share
our
the
Discord
Discord.
link.
Discord.
Check
Yeah.
Discord.
It's not. I don't think it's actually ready. We'll be sharing it in your class groups when it's ready.
Yeah, I will share.
Trust me, when TLE puts out something, you'll see it. So just wait.
Yeah,
Stay
it will.
tuned. When you see it, you will know. You'll be like, yeah, this is TLE Discord. Go for it. And with that, we're winding up. Thank you. Was
Thank you
16
for all
people
your
now?
patience.
14 people.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye everyone.